sixth position is taken by Triumph. Triumph Motorcycles Limited is the largest UK-owned motorcycle manufacturer, established in 1983 by John Bloor after the original company Triumph Engineering went into receivership. The new company, initially called Bonneville Coventry Limited, continued Triumph's lineage of motorcycle production since 1902. They have major manufacturing facilities in Thailand. During the 12 months preceding June 2017, Triumph sold 63,400 motorcycles. In a press release dated the 20th of July 2021, Triumph announced a factory off-road competition program to create new motocross and enduro machines. In the same release they announced the participation of 7-time AMA motocross and 5-time Supercross champion Ricky Carmichael and 5-time enduro champion Ivan Cervantes in the development of the new bikes. In 2017, Triumph's revenue increased by 22% to £498.5 million, and this increased pre-tax profits to £24.7 million from £16.6 million the previous year. Over 85% of motorcycles are now sold in overseas markets, but the 9,400 motorcycles sold in the UK in 2017 represents a record for the company. Bloor invested over £80 million in Triumph motorcycles before it first broke even in 2000. A range of new 750cc and 900cc triple-cylinder bikes and 1000cc and 120cc four-cylinder bikes were launched at the September 1990 Cologne Motorcycle Show. Triumph's best-selling bike is the 675cc Street Triple. In 2010 they launched the Triumph Tiger 800 and Tiger 800 XC dual sport motorcycles, which uses an 800cc engine derived from the Street Triple and is designed to compete directly with the market-leading BMW F800 GS. In 2012, the Tiger 800 was joined by the shaft-driven Triumph Tiger Explorer. From 2019 season onwards for a 3-year term, Triumph were awarded the contract to be the controlled engine supplier for the FIM Mototwo World Championship. This was extended in 2021 for at least another 3 years. All Moto2 teams changed from a Honda CBR 600 unit to a 765cc triple-cylinder engine supplied by Triumph that was originally developed from the Street Triple RS engine, but with additional race tuning that creates at least 138 PS peak power. Up next is Suzuki. Suzuki Motor Corporation is a Japanese multinational corporation headquartered in Minami-ku, Hamamatsu, Japan. In 2016, Suzuki was the 11th biggest automaker by production worldwide. Suzuki's domestic motorcycle sales volume is the 3rd largest in Japan. By 1954, Suzuki was producing 6,000 motorcycles per month, and his company had officially changed its name to Suzuki Motor Co., Limited following the success of his first motorcycles. The company was founded by Michio Suzuki. Suzuki Motorcycle India Private Limited is the wholly owned Indian subsidiary of Suzuki, Japan. The company has a manufacturing plant at Gurgaon, Haryana, having the annual capacity of 40,000 units. Suzuki started manufacturing motorcycles in 1952, the first models being motorized bicycles. From 1955 to 1976 the company manufactured motorcycles with 2-stroke engines only, the biggest 2-stroke model being the water-cooled triple-cylinder G2F5. A large factor in Suzuki's success in 2-stroke competition was the East German Grand Prix racer Ernst Digner, who defected to the West in 1961, bringing with him expertise in 2-stroke engines from the East German manufacturer MZ. Suzuki hired Digner, and he won the 50cc class FIM Road Racing World Championship for them in the 1962 season. Suzuki became the first Japanese manufacturer to win a motocross world championship when Joel Robert won the 1970 to 250cc title. Suzuki have recorded a total of 94 victories at the Isle of Man TT races. Suzuki Biplane and the Suzuki Crossgauge fuel cell are some of the concept bikes of Suzuki. Up next is Harley-Davidson. Harley-Davidson, Incorporated, is an American motorcycle manufacturer headquartered in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, United States. Founded in 1903, it is one of 2 major American motorcycle manufacturers to survive the Great Depression. Harley-Davidson is noted for a style of customization that gave rise to the chopper motorcycle style. The company traditionally marketed heavyweight, air-cooled cruiser motorcycles with engine displacements greater than 700cc, but it has broadened its offerings to include more contemporary VRSC and middleweight street platforms. In 1901, 20-year-old William S. Harley drew up plans for a small engine with a displacement of 7.07 cubic inches and 4-inch flywheels designed for use in a regular pedal bicycle frame. Over the next 2 years, he and his childhood friend Arthur Davidson worked on their motor bicycle using the Northside Milwaukee machine shop at the home of their friend Henry Melk. It was finished in 1903 with the help of Arthur's brother Walter Davidson. Upon testing their power cycle, Harley and the Davidson brothers found it unable to climb the hills around Milwaukee without pedal assistance, and they rode off their first motor bicycle as a valuable learning experiment. In 1906, Harley and the Davidson brothers built their first factory on Chestnut Street at the current location of Harley-Davidson's corporate headquarters. The company produced about 50 motorcycles that year. Production in 1905 and 1906 were all single-cylinder models with 440cc engines. In February 1907, they displayed a prototype model at the Chicago Automobile Show with a 45-degree V-twin engine. In 1917, the United States entered World War I, and the military demanded motorcycles for the war effort. Harleys had already been used by the military in the Pancho Villa expedition, but World War I was the first time that it was adopted for military issue, first with the British Model H produced by Triumph Motorcycles Limited in 1915. The U.S. military purchased over 20,000 motorcycles from Harley-Davidson. The Environmental Protection Agency conducted emissions certification and representative emissions test in Ann Arbor, Michigan, in 2005. Subsequently, Harley-Davidson produced an environmental warranty. The warranty ensures each owner that the vehicle is designed and built free of any defects in materials and workmanship that would cause the vehicle to not meet EPA standards. Coming up is MV Agusta. MV Agusta is a high-end motorcycle manufacturer founded by Count Domenico Agusta on the 19th of January 1945. The date of the first MV Agusta race is unknown, but the first victory was delivered by Vincenzo Nincini in the road race held in La Spezia on October 6, 1946. In the midst of World War II, Count Domenico Agusta came to the idea that the best way to diversify the business and turn it into a peaceful channel would be to create a motorcycle production. Moreover, he understood that a country gutted by war would need a simple, cheap and efficient machine. Therefore, by August 1943, the engine was ready, a 98cc single-cylinder two-stroke with two-stage gearbox, and even if the total shortage of spare parts had to resort to the services of the black market, the process was already launched, and on January 19, 1945, in the town of Casanacosta, a private company, Mechanica Vergara SRL, was registered, and in the fall of the same year the first motorcycle was presented. In the end of 1946, a special racing motorcycle was assembled at the factory in Cascina-Costa. Its main advantages over the serial Model 98 were a telescopic fork and a plunger-type rear suspension. The frame remained a simple tubular and was shortened by 50 mm to improve the handling. The number of gears was increased from 2 to 3. As a result, the power increased to 5 horsepower at 400 revolutions per minute, and the maximum speed increased to 95 kilometers per hour. In 2020, MV Agusta produced the MV Agusta Superveloce, a retro racer-styled motorcycle based on the F3800 Supersport. It is described by MV Agusta as a modern interpretation of the iconic stylistic concept of the MV Agusta. The manufacturer won its first world championship in 1952 with Cecil Sanford in the 125cc class. MV Agusta retired from Grand Prix racing at the end of the 1976 season, having won 270 Grand Prix motorcycle races, 38 World Riders' Championships and 37 World Constructors' Championships with legendary riders such as Giacomo Agostini, Mike Halewood, Phil Reed, Carlo Abbiali, Gary Hawking and John Surtees. In 2018 it was announced that MV Agusta would return to Grand Prix racing as well with forward racing in Moto2. The new bike will begin testing in July for a return to racing in the 2019 season. Last but not least is KTM. KTM AG is an Austrian motorcycle, bicycle and sports car manufacturer owned by Pira Mobility AG and the Indian manufacturer Bajaj Auto. It was formed in 1992 but traces its foundation to as early as 1934. Today, KTM AG is the parent company of the KTM Group, consisting of a number of motorcycle brands. KTM is known for its off-road motorcycles since the late 1990s. It has expanded into street motorcycle production and developing sports cars, namely the Expo. From 2012, KTM was the largest motorcycle manufacturer in Europe for 4 consecutive years. In 2016, KTM sold 203,423 motor vehicles worldwide. In 1934, an Austrian engineer Johann Trunkenpolz set up a fitters and car repair shop in Mattaghofen. In 1937, he started selling DKW motorcycles and Opel cars the following year. His shop was known as Kraftfahrzeug Trunkenpolz Mattaghofen. The prototype of his first motorcycle, the R100, was built in 1951. The components of the motorcycle were produced in-house, except for the Rotax engines which were made by Fichtel and Sachs. Serial production of the R100 started in 1953. With just 20 employees, motorcycles were built at a rate of 3 per day. The company secured its first racing title in the 1954 Austrian 125cc National Championship. In 1956, KTM made its appearance at the International 6 Days Trials, where Egon Dornauer won a gold medal on a KTM machine. In 1991, the company was split into 4 new entities: KTM Sport Motorcycle GmbH Motorcycles Division, KTM Fahrrad GmbH the Bicycles Division, KTM Cooler GmbH the Radiators Division, and KTM Werkzeugbau GmbH the Tooling Division. In 2007, Indian motorcycle manufacturer Bajaj Auto bought a 14.5% stake in KTM Power Sports AG. By 2013, Bajaj Auto held a 47.97% interest in the company. In 2021, Bajaj Auto sold 46.5% of KTM's shares to Pura Mobility AG in exchange for 49% shares in the latter company, and thus became an indirect stakeholder in KTM. In 2003, KTM started sponsoring and supporting road racing in various capacities, with the most successful results stemming from their supermoto efforts. From 2003 to 2009, a KTM factory team competed in the 125cc class of the Motorcycle Grands Prix. KTM manufactures a wide range of off-road motorcycles. That's all for today. See you in another video.